Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking about dressing for success with a man who's been in the men's luxury clothing market for more than 30 years. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I got to admit, I'm a little nervous on this broadcast because I really had to up my clothing game because I am with the king of clothing when it comes to Dallas-Fort Worth, Bob Baumann with Edward Baumann Clothiers. Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
Very cool. Well, I was anxious to have you on the show because people are always kind of looking at fashions and seeing where things are going. And I've noticed in the last few years, everything has become Comfortable Fridays. I mean, Comfortable Monday, but you're not a fan.
Well, we do sell a lot of casual clothing, so don't get me wrong. But I think clothing truly affects the way you see yourself, the way others see you. I try and get people to realize you're a brand. So forget your job, forget your company, forget everything you do, and you're nothing but a brand. And so what is your brand advertising? When you're walking down the road by yourself and people see you, what are you advertising? And, it's important that people realize we live in a world where we should not judge each other by their appearance, but we do. In fact, one of my favorite quotes is the better you dress, the more you can get away with, the worse you can behave. And so dressing does change a person's life. It affects how the world sees them, and they make more money and everything else.
Absolutely. And I was fascinated. I was on YouTube, and I found this great video of you, and I learned some stuff about your history that I did not know. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
I love what I do. I'm blessed to be able to follow my passion, but my life has not always been that way. In 1986, I drove trucks for a living. I got a call early the morning of July 10th that my mother had died very unexpectedly. I'd had a brother die when I was 10, and it was a difficult time in my life. And then I had the opportunity to meet a man who changed my life. He taught me to follow my passion, that the world is as I see it, that if I believe I can, I will. If I believe I can't, I won't. Well, my passion's always been clothing. My dad always taught me, son, if you're not going to do it right, when are you going to have time to come back and do it over? We live in a fast-paced world, and I don't have time to do things over. So it's important to me that we always do things right the first time. If you want to buy clothes, you can go buy clothes anywhere. We focus on building relationships. In fact, building relationships is the most honest thing I can say about what we do. We are in partnership with our clients, and between the two of us, we are both creating the style that we want. I rely on their feedback to do that, and they rely on my skill to make it happen. What's exciting is between the two of us, the client's style gets better with time. The right clothes open the right door. My name is Bob Baumann, and I change men's lives.
Okay, Bob, we have to talk about the pandemic because that
Sure.
had to have affected you. So many people are working from home.
You know, it's interesting because it affected us maybe 20%, a lot less than what I thought it would, because again, we deal with people who realize the importance of their appearance. And they're not going to change their appearance just because of the pandemic. But a lot of people started working from, well, the whole country was shut down. And it was funny because last June, like June 21st, it's like somebody flipped a light switch. And since that day, it has been, we're booked every day, booked solid, setting record months.
And you believe that even on Zoom, I mean, you should be dressed up. If you are dressed in sweatpants, you kind of have a sweatpants attitude, don't you?
Well, exactly. You know, I tell people all the time that if you would have paid attention to the news during the pandemic, there was a lot of articles that said the fastest way to climb the corporate ladder in today's environment is to dress with respect on a Zoom call. Another article came out and it talked about if your uniform, which you wear every day to the office, is a pair of khakis and a polo shirt, and now you're sitting at home and you're wearing your sweats, they said it's impossible to perform at the same level. And another big issue that came out is so now people are working in their play clothes. They go home, they dress in casual clothes. That's what they're working in. So the average person now had problems separating the two. They're working longer hours because they no longer define, I'm off work, I'm changing clothes, now I'm relaxing. They're wearing the same thing all day, so if you read the stories, everybody's working many longer hours during COVID.
And one of the things I applaud you for is that guys hate to shop, but you've actually made this an experience that they look forward to.
Yeah, the number one comment anybody says when they come in our building by far is never in my life have I had more fun buying clothes. And I think it boils down to people, no one likes to be put into something they know nothing about,
Yes.
especially men,
Yes.
with our big egos and everything. And so that's why they hate to shop. So when they come and see us, we put them at ease, we make it fun for them, and they just keep coming back.
I was listening to one of your earlier videos, and you had a quote from Stanley Marcus. Do you remember the quote about?
I don't believe in giving the customer what he wants. I believe if you're a true merchant, it is your responsibility to educate the customer on what he should want, tell him why he should want it, and then be sure you deliver that to him. And that's a big philosophy in our company because I tell people, when have you ever walked into any store and put anything on and the clerk says, I don't like it, take it off? No? Oh, wow, that looks wonderful. When in reality, not everything looks wonderful on every person. And so in our showroom, if you come to our facility and you want to buy something and we feel it's not right, we will not sell it to you. I don't care to make the sell, and then for the next 10 years you're mad at me because you bought something you never even worn it. It stays in your closet. And if it doesn't fit your personality, and that's what we dress. We don't dress everybody the same way. We dress the personality. And if it doesn't fit your personality, we're not going to sell it to you.
And you've been doing this for 32 years. Are you now starting to dress the sons of some of your original customers?
Yes, that's a lot of fun. They either bring their son in and want them to go through the experience, or they drop them off out front and they call them in and they say, you teach this kid how to dress.
Well, it's got to be rewarding to you to see a customer come back and just give you props for how you changed their life.
Well, that's what we do, and you nailed it. We're not in the clothing business. I tell people if you want to buy clothes, you can go buy clothes anywhere. We change people's lives. We build relationships. That's what I love about our company, is just because I can never go 48 hours of my life, and that includes all holidays, Christmas, whatever, that I don't get a text, a phone call, an email, something of somebody telling me how their life was changed because they had this outfit on. Whether they got a raise, whether they made the best presentation, made the biggest sale of their life, or I get calls all the time about guys who got engaged.
Yeah.
So had that outfit on, I felt like a
Well,
million bucks.
and I love it. You mentioned Stanley Marcus. He always dressed to the T, didn't he?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
his brand.
Right.
You couldn't even imagine him in flip flops and a polo. I mean, he was always a sharp dressed man, and that becomes your brand.
Yes, but I also want people to understand, I don't wear a tie every day. I don't wear a suit every day. I wear a lot of jeans and sport coats. I do have a coat on, but I dress very casual a lot myself. But even with that sport coat and that pair of jeans, it puts you in a totally different frame of mind on how you see yourself and how others are perceiving you. As my wife says, I would hope that if you're in the game of life, if you're working, I would hope you're working to win. You want to be number one. You want to be the winner. So why not dress like you're the winner? Instead, a customer called me up 6 months ago. He goes, Baumann, why would anybody want to walk out the front door of their house and look like everybody else? That's not what we do.
So tell people some advice on if they're watching this right now and they're saying, I'm thinking about, going to visit. I mean, what's the experience like? They come in. It's not, you're offering them an adult beverage or a glass of water if they want. I mean,
Right.
Tell us about the experience.
Well, for us, when somebody comes in, we spend literally 30 minutes interviewing them. And people say, man, you're asking a lot of questions. I'm like, well, how can we dress you if we don't even know you? So I need to know who you are. Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? What age are they? Because if you got, toddlers, they may spit up on you or whatever, so we're not putting you in light clothing. If you no longer have kids at home, we're dressing you different. If you're single and you're wanting to find that right person, we're dressing you different.
Yes.
So we really get to know you, and then we take the time to tell you how we would dress you if we were you. Most of our clients allow us to pick everything out, and 50% of our business every day is done over the phone. Because once you become a client and we have all your measurements down, people call us up all the time and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Will you get me this? Will you get me that? I get pictures. The guy's flying, he's first class, he's looking through the magazine, he snaps a photo and says, I want this outfit. Wow. And so it simplifies their life. And that's what we all are looking for. We all have less time. We're all go, go, go. And what we do is we simplify it, make it easy, so no matter what the occasion is, when you walk out the door, you feel good, you look great.
Wow. And you have a robust media page. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen because you're interviewed all the time for different publications, and sometimes they're asking for advice on fashions, and that's got to feel good to educate people through the media.
It is. I love teaching people. Again, most men don't know how they should dress. And I tell people, dress the way you want to be addressed. And to me, that's so important. So if you're going to a party and you want people to look at you with respect, then dress nice. If you don't want to be noticed, dress down. It's all, your clothing affects your life, and people need to realize that much more.
Outstanding. Okay, final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Final thoughts. Just studies have been done. Many studies have been done. And your appearance totally affects your life. I would encourage you to go Google it, research it, because better dressed people have better lives, make more money, go on better vacations, have better marriages, and it's all been studied over and over and over. So it's what do you want out of life? If you want to be the average Joe and that makes you happy, that's fine. If you want more out of life, then dress for it. Dress for what you want, not what you have.
Wow, that's a great way to end this. We'll go ahead and put the website up, which is edwardbaumann.com. And Bob, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, it's a real honor. Appreciate you having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.